hate that.
Just to gain fame through empty claims, not your domain. You can't write a thing instead. You steal some art to sell and claim and bend.
What's up, Dennis?
So, we don't need to hear it again. So, hello, everybody. So, just so y'all know, Phil's under the weather and his throat hurts, so he's not going to hang out very long. But I have a special guest coming on, so we'll talk about what we got to talk about, and then we'll bring him on, and I'll just babble with him for a little bit.
To be clear, I'm not under the weather. I got choked really bad in jiu-jitsu and my throat hurts.
Oh, did you get choked? Is that what happened? You got choked too hard?
Yep. Like right on the throat, and it was just like it was bad, and it's like it sucks.
That's an
like,
occupational hazard, man.
It is, man. I've
That's
never
like
had it.
That's like some Michael Hutchins shit right there. So you're ready for the last two shows of the year this weekend?
I am, man. It's gonna be weird not having anything. I mean, obviously we have next year to look forward to, but it's a few months away.
We don't really have anything next year. I'm just sitting here going, like, we have a couple festivals. Like, we need to get on the ball and book some shit. Like, I'm just sitting here like here, like all last year, like I thought was okay. We'll have shows in January or February or March at least, and it's like, but now I'm like, holy shit, we have like nothing next year until like these festivals. We got to get on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking April, May, June would be a good.
I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do with myself. What am I supposed to do with myself for January, February, and March, Phil?
I don't know.
Wyandotte is going to be dope.
We'll plan August, September, October during then.
Yeah. So the last, but you know, the point is we want to go do, if we go to Florida or Texas or places that are hot, we want to do those in March, April, May. You know, we want to do those early in the year when it's winter everywhere else, because that's when it's fucking tolerable. You know, we don't want to go to fucking Florida and Texas in August. We'll die.
Yeah, we'll book some stuff March, April, May, whatever, sometime around then, and then we'll book some stuff in the fall.
Sonic Temple announced this week. You guys are doing the Sonic Temple Festival
That'll
in
be awesome.
Columbus, which is dope. That'll be an easy drive for you.
Yes, sir.
And the day before that, you guys are headlining Rock Lansing. And 2 days, I guess it's a Saturday, I guess. You guys are headlining Rock Lansing in Lansing, Michigan. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
And Welcome to Rockville, announced a couple weeks ago in Jacksonville.
Let's go.
Fuck Texas in July. No offense, PJ. Sorry, buddy, but fuck Texas in July right in the ear. I love Texas. I love July. Not together. So who's coming out this weekend? Friday night in Steubenville, Ohio. The absolute last Taproot show in Ohio until Sonic Temple. And other than that, that's probably going to be it. So hopefully if you want to see them in a club, this is your last fucking chance in Ohio and Michigan this weekend, man. Friday night in Steubenville at the Masonic Theater, and Saturday in Wyandotte at District 142, which is a beautiful venue with I Set My Friends on Fire.
Yeah, that'll be a good show, man.
Right?
I've heard nothing but good things about this place.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful place. What's up, Julius? Very nice. Very nice.
Good times will be had.
Yeah, exactly. So, hello. VIP is always fucking worth it. Taproot, I'm convinced Taproot has that we have the best VIP experience in the business, man. Very accommodating, very cool. Everybody who does it, everybody who does it says this is the best band. I mean, how many people have said, oh, we did VIP for this and this, and this is the best VIP we've ever done? Like, legitimately, how many people have said that since we started these shows?
Yeah, you actually get time with the band. You actually get to hang out with us, have conversations. It's not just, hey, let's sign this things for you and get you out of there.
All right, yeah, exactly. You have 34 seconds. Here you go. Sign your shit. See you later. Here's a T-shirt and a laminate so you can feel cool. So, you better be doing the Steubenville show. Might as well, man. It's the trifecta.
There you go. Steubenville will be fun.
Very nice. Oh shit! Look at this guy. So I'm assuming you know this guy. I think you guys have probably played shows before. Fucking Jason
We actually
Rapp.
have not. Not that I remember, at least.
Look at that guy.
What's up, bro?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, acceptable. Now, have Taproot and One Side done stuff before?
I know I've been at some shows. Like you guys did, I think some. What am I trying to think of? It's been a while. Oh, what were one of those ones? Did you guys play with like Papa Roach at some point?
Yeah, we did. I mean, a lot of festivals. The radio festivals and stuff. I think we crossed paths quite a bit, and then touring it. You know what I mean? We'd be on one tour. You guys would be on something.
Something like that. I remember, like,
Right
I don't think we've ever actually met and hung out or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really? You guys never played together or anything, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's all, something that was always talked about, but never came to fruition.
Yeah, right. Well, nice to meet
that's
you,
really
man.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it's all good.
I love how I can always pull on these like random new metal guys that like somehow you guys have never interacted with or played with, and it's funny you guys are on these super parallel trajectories,
right?
But somehow never crossed paths,
Yeah. Well, here we are today.
Right, and that crossing paths, baby, on Taproot Tuesday. So for the record, so Phil got choked out at jiu-jitsu, so he's
not out, just choked.
Just choked. Okay, well, not quite out, just choked in jiu-jitsu. So he's a little hurting. So
I'm sticking around, man. I'm hurting bad. This is swallowing, talking is just very painful.
Oh yeah.
So if everybody's cool, you're just gonna hang out with me and Jason, and we're gonna talk. So, I mean, it'll still be Taproot Tuesday. Tap it in for Taproot Tuesday. we'll just have to do without Phil's services until next week.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that, man. I almost canceled completely, but I wanted to at least say hi, give a reason for why I'm not sticking around. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some sleep, try to rest up, and hopefully feel better tomorrow.
Yeah, real quick before you go, Phil, I'm going to talk about the reason we didn't do it last week because it's funny. This is what it takes to cancel Taproot Tuesday. So last week, I moved into, as some of you probably know who follow us, I moved into a new building last month, and it's an older building in the country, very rural, and it has a septic tank. Every house has a septic tank, but this has like a very country septic tank with no... Well, I found out later, no outflow from it. It just has to be emptied. So last week, Tuesday, all of a sudden out of nowhere, all of the toilets in my house were full to the brim. It looked like the Golgothan from Dogma, like they're filled to the brim with excrement. It was pouring out onto the floors. I'm like, oh, this is fucking lovely. So I call the guy I'm buying the building from. It takes me a day to figure out. He goes, just, call somebody, get him over there, whatever you need to do. So I call a plumber. He says, oh, I'll be there by 3. He gets there at like 6 something, and he gets here and goes, oh, well, there's nothing we can do because the septic tank is totally full. It needs to be pumped before we can even look at it. So, of course, I couldn't do that until the following day. So literally, and that happened last Tuesday. So that was why there was no Taproot Tuesday last week, because I was in a world of shit. That is physically what needs to happen. And I still thought about doing it, but I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and try and act cool in a house full of shit. Like, I'm good, but I'm not even that good.
Right.
Yep. By the way, I love the new record.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Dig it a lot. It's on rotation.
Hell yeah.
Very nice. Well, Phil, you get out of here. Go feel better. I'm going to hang out with Jason, and we'll talk some new metal nonsense, and we'll talk about you, though. We'll miss you.
Where you at, Jason? Where you at anyway? Where's you located?
California.
Okay.
Yeah. We're here in LA, trying to build the scene again out here.
Yeah, right.
Well, he hit me up. Dude, everybody and their mother wants to get on this whiskey show. That's how we started talking again, because he hit me up the other day, and he's like, dude, you should get my new band on the whiskey show. I said, dude, I have nothing, to do with it. It's all the whiskey. It's them productions, hit them up. That was kind of my deal with them. Like, look, they're booking us, and I have usually, I have a lot of, we have a lot of say over, we pretty much handpick the bands on all of our shows. And the whiskey is kind of the first one where we're not, because that's just sort of how they do things there. You know what I mean? It's like, so I kind of hands off. And it's funny because all these dudes are hitting me up wanting to get on that show because it's such a great show. And I'm like, man, I can't do anything.
Yeah. You guys coming to LA is important. You know what I mean? You guys were out in the Midwest for a long time. For these last run, we kept an eye on what you guys were doing. And so for you guys to come to LA, and it's important for us because the scene used to be really good in the 90s. It's dead here, right? So there's of us that are trying to recreate it. And so this would be the opportunity to really recreate, and have some really cool buzz go around for Los Angeles again. But the whiskey has their protocol of how they do their shows. You know what I mean? So, Whiskey Palooza, which is awesome.
Right.
Which, as everybody knows, that's just how they do it. And look, and I have a 30-year relationship, 25-year relationship with the Megliaries and the whiskey, and I love them. But that's how they do things, man. They do the pre-sale thing, and they do the, they put a bunch of bands on, and that's sort of how they make their money. And God bless. But that's it. I'm torn because I would love the same thing, man. I want our shows to be a happening with a bunch of relevant bands and with our friends, and really, bands like you guys and Bias and the bands in LA that are really doing shit. I mean, to me, that's what I really want on our shows, is like, I would really like to make like it, like I have Simon Says playing there too with Boy Hits Car, which is fucking cool. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'd like, the Taproot show. So again, hopefully the whiskey does that anyway. They understand how important this show is. And, I really agree that, the thing that's really the long-term benefit to the whiskey is going to be, and speaking of real quick, rest in peace to Mike Megliari, and all my love and condolences to the Megliari family who lost their their patriarch.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, man, Mike was. So Mario was the grandfather who passed a few years ago and was always amazing to me, and Mike Senior was his son, who basically ran the whiskey, and so Mike Jr., who's been one of my dear friends for 20 plus years. He was my first business partner in LA. So he's the one who kind of runs the whiskey now and books all the shows and whatever. But I mean, to me, I feel like for them, they're going to be the ones who benefit from building the scene back up. So hopefully they kind of see that, and they do put some of those bands on, because to me, it's going to be way more important to have a bunch of really good bands on than have a bunch of, bands on, who just sell tickets, which is awesome. Money's great, but rebuilding a scene out there, to me, feels like it would be so much more important and so much more beneficial to everybody,
Yeah, right. Well, we'll see how ticket sales go, and we'll see how it goes from there, right?
Exactly. So Philly, love you, buddy. I will see you this weekend. Me and Jason are going to stay and hang. If you got any questions here for Jason from One Side Zero, hit it up. And all right, Philly, get out of here.
Good time, guys. See ya
later. Be safe.
So, Jason, what's up, dude? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good. Busy as all hell, but all is well.
Tell me about the new band. You're in a new band and doing some new stuff, and let's talk about it. What happened with One Side Zero? How'd the new band come about? It's been a long time since we talked too, man. If people don't know our history, I put out the second One Side Zero record a long fucking time ago on Corporate Punishment. Yeah, and we haven't really talked a lot since then, man. You got a new band, and One Side, I saw you guys did a couple reunion things, and then that must have kind of ran its course. And where are you guys? Where are you at now? Where is everything?
Yeah, so we've always we appreciate our fan base and everybody so much that we've tried to reconvene, get things put back together. Some members would come back in, some wouldn't, this and that. And so we've had some fill-ins, a lot of reunion stuff. We talked about releasing a lot of B-side stuff and getting on the road. The last incarnation was Cello.
That'd be awesome. You guys have a bunch of B-side stuff. So we actually did that first. That's how this whole Taproot thing came back together, because they had a B-sides box set that they'd done independently, and I kept bugging them to let me kind of re-release it. So we did. I wish I had one here. I usually have one on my desk, but we did this best of the sides collection, and then we're eventually releasing like the full thing in 2 disc vault, but it's like 6 fucking discs, But that's how this whole Taproot Scissors journey kind of started, is through the besides box set, and a bunch of B-side stuff, man. And I love doing that kind of stuff. I've done a couple of those, but yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, this day and age, you got to think outside the box. You know what I mean? You got to be creative with everything you're doing. And that's kind of where, we had Cello Diaz joined One Side. We had a drummer, Mike Tarabato, who was the first drummer for Center Shift. When that transition,
it was basically just you and Levon were kind of the core of the band through the whole thing, right?
Yeah. And then he had stepped out for a minute, and Brett was in, and this and that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So. But really, yeah, we were the core of the band. And then, it just kind of like let it lie. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, we've done what we've done. We love our fans, and let's move on to something and see what we could do. Right. So we went different ventures, started working and writing for bands and stuff like that. And then Center Shift came together as the bass player is from a band, Bemis. And him and I had always written together and done things through the years. So we put this thing together. I had all these songs for One Side and all this stuff. And so I was like, let's put it all together. Let's go back to Jim Wart and have him produce or do this record with us. So we did it. We put it in 3 pieces. It was a 3 EP release that came out and became one record, right? So we released, the first one was called A Different Shade. The second was called Of. The third was called, we put it all together and it was A Different Shade of Color, right? So and then we added more songs. So there's 17 songs on our first record that came out. we had to, it worked, it was really cool. We had to be creative. So we have Ryan on guitar playing from Shovel. He's playing lead guitar. Our drummer is Stefan from Blueprint, and then me, and then Ted from Bemis. So collectively and creatively, it's pretty freaking awesome. We really love the band. There's some similarities of one side because I'm one of the writers in the band, but it's a whole different beast, basically. So our second record is recorded, and we're about to mix and get that out.
That's awesome, man. I can't. So actually, I think I got a track downloading here. If everybody wants to hear it, let's fucking find it. So let's hear a little. So you did it with Jim Ward again, who, if people don't know, Jim did Incubus, some of the early Incubus stuff, and what else did he do? Did he do Straight Up too? He did a bunch of stuff back then.
He did One Side Zero. He did Hoobastank. He did Fiona Apple. He did everyone. At one point, he was killing it.
Yeah, he was killing it. He was doing a lot of great records.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's see. It's processing. I wish I had Jeopardy music to play when I'm doing shit like this, just sitting here waiting for my computer to cooperate. Here we go. Center Shift, The Ride.
The storm beneath the sea. I wanted to tell you, but what would I say? Wake up, let's go for a ride. Let the rest of them decide. We'll escape to another side. Tell our dreams. I stare in your eyes and call out. You can't hear me when I scream. I still want to wake up, let's go for a ride. And let the rest of them decide. We'll escape to another side. And I won't let our time expire.
Very nice.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice.
That's our single.
Definitely got some One Side Zero vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Some
Hard to get
Pasadena vibes.
Being the one of the riders of One Side and one of the riders of Center Shift, it's hard to get away from that.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. It's great. I mean, it's definitely, I really like that whole, sort of movement of shit that came out of Glendale and Pasadena. You guys and the Apex Theory, and there was a lot of really cool bands that sort of came out of those other parts of LA. That were kind of a little more melodic, a little weirder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess it's all sort of Dude, I remember the first time I heard of One Side Zero was fucking, and we probably talked about. I interned at Immortal a million years ago. And Rob, your drummer, worked there. And that was the first time I heard about it. He's like, bro, my band is opening for System of a Down at the Coconut Teaser. You should come see us. Like, literally, that was my first introduction to One Side Zero.
Right. Yeah, back in the day, that's when, the 90s, late 90s, that was a rocking scene here in LA. It was any given day you could see Tool before they were signed, Rage before they were signed, System, anybody, Snot, you know what I mean? It was going off out here.
Dude, I've seen so many crazy shows like, Snot, Perfect Circle at the Troubadour, fucking System of a Down at the Coconut Teaser, fucking. Man, I miss the Teaser. Like, for some reason, there was just something about the vibe at that place. It was kind of like, it was just sort of more of a free-for-all than the Whiskey or the Roxy or the Trube or,
Totally.
I mean, again, they were a little more like they just kind of let anybody play there, and the shows were, I don't know. I love that place.
Yeah, totally. It was dirty. It was the seedy rock and roll scene of Los Angeles for sure.
There was a giant pole in the middle of the stage, so you couldn't see anything or set up drums. Yeah. Oh man. So what are you guys doing? Tell me about Center Shift and what you guys are doing and what you got coming up.
So we just finished our second record. We're about to mix that, put that out early this next year. We'll have the first single out. Actually, the second single, The Ride, is the first single from the second record. And then hopefully get out on the road, do some touring, get out there and meet the people. So far so good. We've got a great welcoming fan base for us. We're only about really like 2 years old, coming up on 2 years with this lineup. And we really feel solidified now. So we got to get out on the road and do our job. You know what I mean? So we're hoping that's what's going to go on. Play a lot of shows. We play a shit ton of shows, so.
Yeah. What do you guys got coming up for shows now? You got anything coming up around LA or elsewhere?
Yeah, we're doing, there's in Ventura at a famous old punk rock bar called The Sewer, right across the street from Ventura Theater. We're playing Wicked Wednesday. It's a free show. It goes off. It's packed on Wednesdays. It's awesome. And then we're playing Whiskey Richards in Santa Barbara on Friday. And then we've got something in Orange County in January, and a lot of shows coming up now that we're starting to put together for a run.
That's awesome.
Board with Jim Wirt, some B-side stuff. Speaking of B-sides, so that's
really. That's awesome. Well, keep bugging the Whiskey. See if you can't get yourselves on the Taproot show out there, and let's talk. And again, I got Simon Says out doing shows. I got a bunch of bands out doing. My friend's Heartsick, who Alfonso the singer's in here, going off about One Side Zero. That's him. Fucking they tour a lot. And they do. They'd be great for you guys to do some shit within the Midwest, man. They own the Midwest, so. I was going to mention that the other day, actually, when we were talking. So, what's your favorite Hollywood venue?
My favorite Hollywood, well, the Troubadour is amazing. The Roxy was always phenomenal, not because Nova and Nick Adler.
Your manager owned it.
No, it was just like our home away from home. But
That was though. I was gonna say the Roxy was always kind of your club though, and obviously partially it was because of Nick, whatever. That was always one side. Always, you guys always killed at the Roxy. That was kind of your spot, and you guys always killed there.
Amazing shows there with Dredge on New Year's Eve, 2 sold out nights. Just God, great shows. But the Troubadour for LA just has this amazing mystique, right? And just this really, really. And the whiskey's awesome because it's nostalgic, but there's some really cool. But back in the day, I mean, I'm gonna go back to the '90s again. We had the Dragonfly, you had Club with No Name, you had Raji's. You know what I mean? We played a show randomly one side with Mike Watt. You know what I mean? And it was just freaking awesome. So, dating myself a little bit, but that was back in the day.
And they all know how old we are.
Right.
Dredge. So the dude from Dredge is in a new band called Black Map that's opening. Yeah. They're opening the Simon Says show in Sacramento. I'm super fucking stoked to see them. Actually.
Yeah, they're rad. We played a few shows with them. Love those guys.
They're really fucking good, man. I can't wait to see them live.
Yeah,
I think Alfonso might be hitting on you. I'm not sure, but I think he might be.
I can't read.
He says he's single dog. So I'm about to hold your hand with these name drops, buddy. And he's over there, and he said, "I'm about to get in the shower soon and just cry to One Side Zero tunes because they're that good and melodic."
Oh, right on.
Thank
you.
I don't know what happened to Sean Henning. Good question. He just vanished off the face of the earth one day.
Yeah,
I know him and Nick had a falling out, and he just went. Psh.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there.
No. Did you still talk to Nick?
Yeah. Nick, I mean, he's killing it. He started the Sunset Music Fest.
Yep.
And then from that, he opened up a vegan restaurant called Nick's on Beverly in LA.
Oh, I didn't know that was Nick Adler that had that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then he was doing the food and beverage stuff, and Mikey Doling was working for him, name drop. Mikey Doling was working for him as the manager of the food and beverage, and now at Coachella. And now it seems that Nick is kind of running Coachella. He's one of the bigwigs there. So he's always been that guy. He's just really great at business and always in the end.
Yeah. Dude, I always love Nick, man. All those guys. I have such a affinity to Nick and Mikey and all those guys that, like, when I moved out to LA, just kind of embraced me and, let me do their shit. You know what I mean? And those guys and Brett Bear and Gary and, we just had such, and even Bino in the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, we all had just this cool, weird little, I don't think there will ever be another scene like LA was I tell you, I always kind of cry that I missed the 80s scene in LA, but in a way, I kind of feel like we had a better scene in the 90s and the 2000s in LA. Like, we kind of created our own scene, and I really feel like it was just fucking, I don't think anything will ever touch that scene we had in LA in the 90s and 2000s as far as bands getting signed and hype and great shows, and it really was exceptional, man.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. And us out here, we're trying to rebuild it. We're doing a lot of shows. I do shows with the old Cobalt Cafe, the owner. We do satellite Cobalt Cafe shows all around called Cobalt Presents, and kind of the same thing. The Cobalt was known for giving a platform, a place for up and coming bands to play.
Who couldn't, without having to do the pre-sale thing, or who couldn't really get show at the whiskey or wherever, yeah.
Yeah, so all the bands, friends of ours, the Hoobastanks, the Incubus, the Jimmy Eats World, all came through there in their early careers at one point. So we're recreating that all over the place, trying to get the scene somewhat put back together,
Yeah, is the Cobalt still around, still doing shows?
No, the Cobalt, the actual venue.
I was going to say the venue shut down, right?
Yeah, the owner and I now do satellite Cobalt shows all over the place.
That's awesome. Where are you guys doing those at?
Hotel Ziggy, which is a really cool hotel, brand new on Sunset. They're all about music. We do the Whiskey, Ziggy, an all ages bowling alley called Corbin Bowl. We do stuff in Ventura. We do stuff down in San Diego. Just wherever we can really kind of help and get younger bands exposure, you know. With that, I've opened a rehearsal studio here in Westlake Village. It's a
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. It's a rehearsal recording studio. We deal a lot with the next generation of bands. We're starting a TV show called Blueprint Sessions, which is going to be featuring next generation bands, young artists that we're shooting 3 bands a week, live streaming it on stages.com. That gets edited down, put with a headliner, and going to the YouTube channel. So that's coming soon. So we're really trying to break the mold of what's going on with the Spotifys and all the stuff, and the difficulty for the young bands to really know how to do it. Try to padding the blows, let them cut their teeth, padding the blows a little bit, and really support the young artist.
That's awesome. That's important. It's important to it's important to support the new artists and the up and coming artists, and it's hard, man. I mean, you know me, I've always sort of, you know, I would work with the kind of established artists, you know, the Taproots and One Side Zeros and whatever of the world. But then I always try and, you know, again, even when I had Corporate Punishment, we had Trigger Point and Ricketts and a bunch of new bands that, you know, we kind of took out, and now with THC, I have Heartsick and, you know, Lydia's Castle, which is John Wysocki from Stain's new band. And granted, I mean, the drummer sold 20 million records in Stain, but they're still a new up and coming band. And it's, you know, it's important to find the next generation too, and help bring that forward, man. Cause it's not, you know, there's nobody who's doing that. There's nobody who's developing bands. There's no labels there's no money in it, man. So no labels want to do it. Like nobody really wants to develop bands and take them to the next level. And that's the hardest part as a young band, I think, now, is trying to find avenues to get to the next level, you know?
Yeah, you have to have the people that want to help, you know, and that's what we're doing. We work a lot in development, and there's no money in it, you know what I mean? But I'm not doing money. We're doing it for if you want to do this, here's how, you know, we're going to help you, and then you go and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's about the money, it'd be, you know, shit.
I did. If it's about the money, most of us would have quit a long fucking time ago, man. Like, I literally, my entire adult life, I've literally, you know, made 2 years salary at a real fucking job. You know, it's like I've put out 200 records and probably collectively made $100,000 off of all of them. You know, I think a lot of us, if we were doing this for money, we would have quit a long fucking time ago, man. It's definitely a passion thing for sure, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you want to let people, if you've had the opportunity to fulfill your dream and be assigned and, you know, join the family, I call it, then why would you not try to help the next generation? Why would you not try to help the next, you know, artist or anyone you can? It doesn't have to be the next generation, but somebody that you believe in, you know what I mean? Take the shot.
That's it, man. I mean, it's so important. But I was happy when you told me you were doing some shows with the Cobalt guy. And I mean, again, LA is a really hard market, man. I mean, it's always been, you know, it's, you know, there's, you know, and there's not a lot of those small rooms left, like the Coconut Teasers and, you know, Madame Wong's and kind of the weird little side cool places that'll give new band or the Cobalt or whatever that will, you know, give new bands a shot. I mean, there's basically just the Whiskey and the Troubadour and the Roxy and, you know, and a bunch of weird shit in Silver Lake and downtown now where it's not even really metal bands. Or, you know, and that's the thing is I think there's a little bit of a scene in LA. It's not our scene anymore, I think, and that's sort of what it is, you know?
Yeah, definitely. We are the odd man out for sure.
Right? No shit. Look at these guys. These guys are just going crazy with the, you know, talking about Flybanger and Endo and Twisted Method, Grade 8, Crossbreed. Jesus, these fools are digging deep.
Wow,
1 minute silence. Yeah, you know. I mean, Scrape, Relative Ash. It's like, so what were your favorite tours when you're One Side Zero? Who did you guys all tour with? What were some of the cooler bands you toured with? Some of your favorite tours back in the major label days.
Yeah, Soulfly Static X tour was phenomenal. we were totally the odd man out on that tour, but we were able to hold our own, and the fans were really rad. That was a great tour. From that tour, we started a Bloom with Mikey Doling, Cello D, Roy Mayorga, and Levon from one side,
which was awesome. What a cool weird band that was, man. You know.
Yeah. That tour was great. The Edema, the original Edema with Marky.
Yes.
We toured with them like 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5. We always had a blast. Those were great.
Yeah. I love those guys, man. I still love those guys, Dave and Chris and Flucky, and I mean,
we played a show.
I'm sorry.
We played a show recently with them down in Orange County with the new lineup, or with
awesome.
But yeah, I mean, shit, we toured with 311, Zebrahead, Incubus, Static X. Seven Dust was an amazing tour. Those guys are freaking amazing guys. Really great guys. 311 guys are really great guys. In fact, Nick Hexum was here for the grand opening of the studio.
Oh, dude, that's fucking awesome. Taproot toured to 311 a bit too, I think, at one point. So Brad, another little funny, interesting tidbit. I don't know if you know this, or if it's just a coincidence, but I worked with Bleed the Sky and got them signed to Nuclear Blast, and I co-wrote a bunch of songs on their original EP, well, off the first record, because those songs from the EP, a couple of those ended up on the record, and I produced that whole first EP and co-wrote a bunch of the songs on it. So that's funny. That's awesome, though, man. Yeah, tell us some more about your studio. Plug that a little. Where is it? In Westlake Village?
Yeah, so we're in Westlake Village. We're the only rehearsal studio out here, which is crazy. So we're expanding. We're going to be doing a showcase room where we're doing the live streams and the shows. We have each room converts to a recording room or a live room or a control room. I'm actually sitting in one of the ones that are a control room now because we just finished a record here. We have 2 more records that are coming in this next year to record here. The rooms sound phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, we're here, Westlake Village, across the street from the Four Seasons, but not the Four Seasons prices.
That's awesome, man. So why don't you guys, when you get your showcase room done, why don't you do some shows in there? Is it something you could do something like that too?
Yeah, so with the live stream, and what we're going to do is it's going to hold about 20 people. So for bands, we can do, you have your live audience, because we did we were doing great. Our first single came out, or one of our singles, and we were doing great in Europe, right? So I partnered with this company, stageit.com. They've been around since like 99, before COVID, before all the live streaming became a thing. A lot of their artists aren't touring. They just do this, live stream from home, and they're making 3 figures. To me, I was like, oh, that's cool for them. I love touring, but this is a great...
Did you just say they're making 3 figures?
Yeah, crazy.
Like $100, like 2, like no. 3 figures would be less than 1,000. You mean 6?
Yeah, 6 figure 3.
Okay, because 3 is not that impressive. I'm not gonna, not gonna lie. I mean, I might have 3 figures in my wallet right now.
I know. Obviously not about the money. So, so we did this live stream for Europe, to reach Europe, right? And we did all the prep. We did, we're doing it at the Knitting Factory, the new Knitting Factory here in LA. And we're doing it like the butt crack of the morning to reach everybody out, Europe, because the time. Yeah. We had every bases covered except for when we finished the song with lights and smoke and the whole thing. And you finish the song, and we never discussed if someone should clap or what to do in between songs. And
they're all just standing there looking around like.
Yeah, it was like, and everyone, the crew is like, what do we do? And then the message board is going crazy of people talking to us, but we can't see that, right? So the director's kind of yelling at us, hey, da-da-da-da-da. So we don't want that, to be uncomfortable for anybody else. So we want to have a fan base. We want to make it cool for the bands to do something cool for their fans to come and see them. Limited amount of people, but then the stage it, the live stream to the world, and just kind of go like that. So yeah, it's going to have people in it. It's going to be a really cool environment. We're also, I teamed up with a company called Retune, which is a product for musicians. It's a balm and a rub and a throat spray. Rudy Sarzo is the Sarzo family is a part of it. So we're going to be doing master clinics with Robert and Rudy Sarzo. We're going to have a booth at NAMM to promote the master clinics here at Blueprint Studios, and just kind of go like that. It's not my genre of music. I was the other way in the 80s, but these guys are super cool, and they're like metal royalty. So it's going to be really,
Totally my genre of music, so I'm right there with it.
nice. So yeah, you know, we're just trying to do what we can to really bring, you know, keep rock alive and do what we can.
That's it, man. I've been on that same mission for 25 years. You know, when the new metal thing wasn't cool anymore, I started a label to put out new metal records, and it wasn't even that though, because even then I put out 80s metal records, and now the new metal thing is cool again, and here I am still putting out new metal records, and I just still don't give a fuck, man. I just like the music I like, and the bands I like, and the people I like, and it's sort of, you know, stumbled onto some really big, great shit along the way. You know, I mean, it's
totally,
you know.
Yeah, I'm stoked you're working with Taproot, man. I love the record. I'm really hyped to see them out and doing the thing again and getting a great response. You know, they're a great band. They've always been a great band.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. And honestly, like, I think they're better now than they ever have been. I think live they're better. I think everything about them. I think they're just, honestly, like, wait till you see them. Like, they're fucking better now. Steve's voice sounds better than it ever has. Like, they have a new guitar player, Taylor, who's fucking great. Jared's back playing drums, and he sounds fucking great. Next year, actually, Jared's got to sit some stuff out, and John Wysocki's actually going to fill in for them. I'm kind of, it's funny. Me and Jared both are kind of like, you know, when I mentioned it to him, he's like, fuck, dude, I want to see him play for Taproot. You know, it's like, kind of like, oh, it's a bummer Jared can't do some stuff, but then it's like, okay, but we have the drummer from Stained filling in. So it's like fucking shitty and awesome at the same time, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah, they're so great, man. They're honestly like, they're better than they've, no, 36 Crazy Fists is pretty much done as far as I know. But yeah, dude, I'm so stoked. I'm stoked to be working with Taproot too, man. I love them. I love the guys. You know, I'm just too old to be working with people I don't like. I mean, honestly, that's just sort of you know, I had heart failure 3 years ago. I have a pacemaker now, a defibrillator. I mean, fuck, I had a stroke and an aneurysm a month and a half ago. You know, it's like, I'm just too old and falling apart to be doing shit I don't want to do with people I don't like, you know? So it's like, to me, it's super important to just be doing things I like with people I like. And, you know, I've never been a guy who did shit I didn't want to do for money. You know, I mean, it's funny. Like, there's so many big bands that have come to me and, you know, that I've turned down because it just wasn't my thing. I mean, literally some of the biggest, you know, bands in certain genres in the world, like, came to me like, oh, hey, we want to sign your label. I'm like, yeah, not really what I do, you know? So it's like, I waited all this long for new metal or whatever the fuck you want to call it, for lack of a better word, to come back around. And, you know, I was apparently ahead of the curve and behind it and ahead of it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you.
Allele, hey man, another one of my bands. I mean, again, like, when new metal was done, I was still putting out new metal bands. You know what I mean? It's, you know.
Well, I mean, that became a coined genre of stuff, and I think there was a lot of bands, like, we got lumped into the new metal thing. I don't know that.
I mean, the new metal itself was such a lazy. I mean, like, you put System of a Down, Deftones, Korn, you know,
yeah,
all in the same genre, and then you throw Stained in it too, and like, people throw Godsmack in it, and Disturbed, and then you guys and Taproot and Linkin Park, like that's not one genre of music. That's just like hard rock with any. I mean, like, Stained is basically a fucking post grunge band. It's just, I mean, you just can't. It's such a lazy fucking, and now people embraced it and it's fine, but it's like, I always just thought it was such a lazy, stupid fucking, it was just trying to put everything in a box, and a lot of shit that didn't even remotely fit together anyway. I mean, it was just take 1,000 bands that are completely different. Say, oh, they're the same genre, they're the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like they're all just fucking hard rock bands they're all very idiosyncratic fucking hard rock bands. That's what they are.
Yep. Each one was different. But it is what it is. Here we are today.
And people are embracing it, so I'm embracing it, and whatever, it is what it is, man. It was an era, but again, to me, again, all those bands are really, it just became an all-encompassing term for any idiosyncratic hard rock band. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? If you're an idiosyncratic hard rock band with any other, if you had some kind of rap element or some kind of melodic element or some kind of an emo element, or it was just like a catch-all, you know what I mean? But I mean, what would you really categorize One Said Zero as? I mean, a hard, idiosyncratic alternative metal band? I mean, look, Levon's biggest influence was fucking Eddie Van Halen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think that before emo was even called that, I think you have bands like the Deftones and Far and Us and Failure. Those are emo bands. We're singing about emotions. We're singing real life things. You know what I mean? So I felt that we were always more of a harder or a, alternative emo kind of thing.
Well, that's the same way I feel about Simon Says and Far and, and again, and you guys and all bands, again, they got lumped into new metal. And somebody just made a really good point, too. It says, like, Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. That's exactly it. Grunge was the same way. It was like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Mudhoney and Soundgarden. And, I mean, Soundgarden was like a weird post-Zeppelin fucking band. And Pearl Jam was like a weird post-Neil Young fucking band. And like a retro 70s fucking band. And, I mean, those bands couldn't have been more disparate if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't be. And a lot of the new metal bands are the same fucking way. Like, they couldn't be any different if they wanted to, man.
It's true. I agree.
So, anyway, well, dude, it was awesome talking to you. I'm glad we could carry this thing on a little bit. Sorry, Phil had to bounce early and wasn't feeling good. But, dude, it's so great to catch up. And let's see if we can get some shows together. Let's see if we can do some shit together, find some shit. You guys, it was awesome to have this cool. So I just want to catch up on these guano apes. I like guano apes, man. Amy Echo was amazing. Human Waste Project was amazing.
Human Waste
Chink, yes, was amazing. The Deftones have ascended as gods. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I tried to get Human Waste back together to do a show out here, and she said, "Do the start, but probably not Human Waste. Sucks." But
yeah, I know. I loved Human Waste Project, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Bounce to rehearsal. I appreciate it.
Do your thing, man. It was great talking to you. You guys, will see you this weekend in Steubenville and Wyandotte. Otherwise, we'll talk to you soon. Take care, Jason.
Later, brother.